Is that Tommy Cuozzi?
This is Z. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. What's that behind you right there, my friend? That looks tight. Is that Dragon Ball Z and all that?
Oh, dude, we're a giant nerd here. We've got Dragon Ball. We've got, let's see, yeah, you're pretty much seeing all the Dragon Ball. I
Oh
actually,
yeah.
my wife and I built that sword for a cosplay.
Is that One Piece?
Uh, I say I don't know if there's any One Piece back here. I've got some in the corner over there, but that's Black Clover.
That's cool, man. That's tight. I'm a Dragon Ball fan too. Let me go ahead and share some of my energy with you.
Oh, that's good, dude. I'll.
Hey, hell yeah, man. Well, what's going on, man? Welcome to the channel. This is the MMA Boxing Addict channel. My name is Alex Ramos. We started about 6 months ago with a dream. We got the opportunity to start doing this. I got a computer, finally wasn't struggling after 3 years. And we're at this point now where we're speaking to Tommy Cuozzi, who I said is literally your #1 ranked fighter out of North Carolina, South Carolina, coming into Dwcs, Dana White Contender Series against Ramiro Jimenez, August 19th, literally what, a week and a half from now. That is you, my friend. How are you doing, man?
Man, I'm good. I feel blessed to be here, man. I really appreciate you having me on. I feel weird coming in, with these interviews coming in and feeling your energy, feeling the energy of everybody around me. It's
Ah,
a it's
yeah.
a cool thing, but it feels strange. I have this imposter syndrome.
Yeah, hey, that's funny, man. That's funny. Well, it might not be imposter syndrome anymore, man. You're on the verge of becoming a UFC fighter. You know what I mean? So, Tommy, you got a big fight coming up, a great, great opportunity. Tell me, I want to get a little bit to know about you before we get into your fight, man. Tell me, where does the story begin for Tommy Cuozzi? Were you raised by both of your parents, and where are you from your own words?
So I was born in New York, but I didn't live there, for 2 years. I moved to North Carolina, High Point first, then Ruffin, but now I'm in Reidsville. But everything that I do is really based in Eden. Our gym's in Eden. Both of my parents have supported me throughout this entire process. Now I've got a wonderful wife who does the same thing, and without them, it's really impossible. But I started kind of like you said, with a dream. It was right before I turned 9. I started training. I saw my first fight at 10, and I said, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to go into. And then once I hit 14, my coach had asked me, like, hey, do you want to fight? I said, yeah, well, why not? Are my parents cool with it? And they were. And we took it from there. I had 4 fights until the age of 16. And then I took a little hiatus. And then once I hit 18, I was back at it. And the rest is history.
That's tight, man. That's tight. Tell me a little about how you first started in MMA. You said you had your first fight at 14, but and you watched your first fight at what, 9, 11 years old. Tell me, what got you to go to the gym? Was it your dad? Was it your mom? Was it who was it, man?
Well, I want to be honest with you. I think you see the figures behind me. I think every teenager is to become Goku, to become Naruto, Spider-Man, the Red Power Ranger. And I would be lying if I said I wasn't one of those boys. So, I came in and I was like, man, I wanna be like that. I wanna be super cool. And there was this martial arts gym 20 minutes from the house. And my parents had found it. Were like, hey, do you want to get started? And I said, yeah. So we got started and fell in love with it instantly. I was doing the whole going through elementary school football baseball kind of thing. They were like, look, this is a commitment if you want to do it. And we made the commitment and we're here now, and I'm very, very happy I made that decision. It's like that snowball effect they talk about where you make that one little snowball and it just becomes massive.
Damn, that's tight, man. So during your career, it seems like you had your parents backing you up, from the beginning to the top, man. How important was that for you, mentally?
Dude, it's essential. They were my manager. They are my managers. I have an official manager now,
Derek
Derek
Brunson?
Brunson. Yeah, yeah. So he's officially my manager now. But my stipulation there was like, hey, my parents have brought me to this point. They've brought me here. They have to have a say in what I do as well. Like I've got to talk it out with them. And Derek Brunson is very much he's for the fighter. He was like, they've got you here. they deserve a say in what you do as well. So, very thankful for them. Their support is astronomical at this point. From the very beginning to now, everything that I do, they're gonna support. They're gonna make fun of me along the way, but it's all loving, it's all games, and I know at the end of the day, they're one of my biggest supporters that I've ever had.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. And speaking of Derek Brunson, I just want to hit that topic a little bit. Have you, you said he's a real close person. Have you did any training with Derek Brunson since he's became your manager? Have you been to his training camp or anything? Worked with anybody around him?
Absolutely. So his
Mm.
gym's like 3.5 hours away from me. So my wife and I took
Oh,
a weekend trip over to Wilmington, had a nice little beach weekend and we got some working up there. I'm gonna tell you what, Brunson's MMA and fitness has some killers up there. So if anyone's in the Wilmington area, for sure hit them up. But I got a little work in with him as well, specifically. And
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, he's everything that he appears to be. He's a monster. Just getting some work in with him. It's like wow, like there's levels, and I'm trying to get to his level now. We're trying to walk up that staircase and get to where he, sat for so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah, yeah, he's a good fighter, man. People want to talk about some of the losses towards the end of his career, but he only lost to some of the best fighters in the world. Israel Adesanya,
Exactly.
DDP, before DDP was even blown up and people didn't even know who this guy was yet.
Yeah,
He was a phenomenal fighter. So to hear that he's your manager and hear that you've worked with him before, that's a great thing right there, man. That's a great thing. So to hit
absolutely. It's a cool experience.
That's tight, man. That's tight. So tell me, man. So you're a young kid. You said you went to elementary school. You went to high school. Did you do any wrestling or any type of boxing? During your middle school, your high school years. Talk to me about that.
So all my training has just kind of been everything mashed together. I never took one discipline and said I'm going to focus on this specific thing for a certain length of time. I've changed the balance out, changed the scales per what I was focusing on, but there was always something else with it. It was never only boxing, only Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling. But like I said, I did a little bit of everything. I never wrestled for a school, but I did a wrestling club there for a little bit and just kind of let my game grow from there. Carolina Elite kind of got my wrestling started. And then
Yes.
now, just in the fight community, there's so many killer wrestlers nearby.
Yeah.
Actually, just on my team, we've got Corbin Manley, who wrestled for 30 years of his 28 years. And, we've got just
Top.
Derek Brunson, his team. I got some solid wrestlers on my team. We've got Thomas Gant, who's got a contender series fight coming up as well. He's the assistant coach over at NC State, insane wrestler. But just there's so many opportunities to work on that here. Jiu-jitsu, I've been working a lot with Gracie Burlington and surrounding gyms. My coach
Nice.
Aitor Canuck, Spencer, he's so knowledgeable, but just getting everything from everywhere, and it's really really helping my knowledge to expand.
Nice, man. And experience. How much experience you got? You said you've been fighting since you were 14. You watched your first UFC fight at a young age. When did you start actually practicing MMA, mixed martial arts, and thinking about doing this a full-time thing?
So like I said, I started in the kids class like at 8 or 9 years old, and at that point it was just we're training to be a red ranger, right? We want to be a ninja. And like
Yeah.
I said, once I hit 10 years old, I saw my first fight. Dude broke his arm and I was like, dude, that's like it sucks, but like that's sick, right? Like I want to do that. And
That's funny.
yeah, so I think from that point on, we took it a little more seriously, and we started ramping our training up. And it's always fun when the people in the corner call you the overachiever, and it's like so we started taking fighting and training a little more seriously, doing grappling competitions. And like I said, once I hit 14, I got my first fight offer. And from that, like, it's history. Then I started that was my thing. We're fighting, going through high school and college at the same time, and we're fighting. So there were so many things we had to balance, but fighting always took priority in my life. Dude, I had no clue. I went to an early college, and I had dreams and aspirations. I wanted to be a physical therapist at one point. And so early college is a program where you go to high school and college at the same time. So I graduated with my diploma and my associate's degree both at the
Oh,
same time, which is pretty neat. So we got a nice little head start on our education. But at that point, I was starting to get, we're going to have to devote time here or here, and it's going to be so hard to do both. So I went ahead and I chose fighting as the path that I wanted to take.
hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Well, it seems like it's working out for you right now. Everything is going absolutely splendid. Hey, at least you got associate's degree as well. I don't even have a single goddamn degree myself, so that's absolutely great, man. Now, I want to
Thank you.
talk about your resume a little bit. Like you said, you started when you were 14. You went on a 5-fight win streak during your amateur career, but then ended up running into a 4-fight little losing streak, right? And we're heading into 2019. You get your first professional fight in 2019. I just want to know mentally, man, what was going on through your head during your amateur career, having suffering a couple losses, even though to me, losses in MMA are needed. They're needed. This isn't like boxing or anything like that. This is UFC MMA. Losses are needed to be able to, build on what you need to work on. What was the mentality going in to your pro fight, my friend?
I think it was exactly that. I like the phrase, it's not a loss, it's a lesson, but I like to add to it. It's not a loss, it's a lesson if you make it one. A loss is a loss. It will always be a loss, but you can turn it into a lesson, and that's what I strive to do. I Losses affect the mind, but it goes one of two ways. You can either be really down on yourself and go, I'm horrible, I suck, I shouldn't do this. Or you can, and don't get me wrong, there were times where, like, up here, we definitely thought that. But, the other side of that is that you can go, look, what did I do wrong? Why did I lose? And let's fix it. Let's capitalize on that. Let's get better there. And I'd say each fight we got a little bit better, a little bit better. And it's on the road, turned into a big old crater in the road. But I got an offer and they were like, hey, do you want to fight the guy that you lost first to, but as a pro fight? And I was like, sure, let's send it, because it was a really good fight. It was close. And, well, why not? And he ended up not being able to do it. So now I had already committed to a pro fight. I hadn't signed a contract or anything yet, but it was like, look, up here, we're committed.
Yeah.
So we're not going back now. We're not playing this back and forth game. And they found a new opponent really quickly, and we did our thing. And like I said, the rest is history. We got in there, we executed a game plan. It went beautifully. Could have asked for a better pro debut.
Yeah, yeah, man. That's tight. It's a good story. You know what I mean? You show that, even though sometimes people are going through down times in life, look at where you're at now. You ended up going on an 8-fight win streak, not even having seen round three in any one of those 8-round fights, man. I believe JDM was another fighter who lost his first 2 professional fights and ended up becoming a world champion, so losses
Right.
don't mean everything, especially in early in your career, man. If anything, they're just like you said, lessons, and they're helping build people's careers, man. So that's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
Since 2019, you've been able to get a win streak like absolutely amazing. 8-0, all finishes, my friends. You haven't been to a decision since 2019. How has that ride been for you, man, so far going into this?
Dude, I feel blessed. I can't complain at all. I feel blessed. I've got so many different supporters. I feel, I pray a lot before my fights. It's not all me. It's all God. And I'm just I'm following the trail. Wherever he's gonna lead me, I'm gonna go. That's to the contender series. Right up as we can go. And if we happen to get past this, great. But like I said, with those 8 wins, not having seen the third round, it's nice. It feels good. It feels like something that I'm doing is working,
Yeah,
and it's very rewarding.
it's hey, you've been doing good, man. You got that win over what's his name, Theo. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Theo Regin, who fought at the
Oh
Dana
yeah,
White. He fought at Dana White Contender Series against Stephen Wynn. Now I don't know if
Yeah.
you just seen Steven win. He just got the record for the most knockdowns in UFC history.
Oh
In his
wow.
last in his last fight, my friends. Right? He they had to stop the fight with Muhammad Yahya. This eye was coming out of his goddamn head. It was insane, dude. Wow.
Did see that. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he went to decision at Dana White Contender Series with Theo.
Yeah.
Right after Theo had that fight at Dana White Contender Series, you know, he came in here and fought against you, Tommy. And what did you do to him? Dude, a flying knee to start the goddamn round, the first 10 seconds. Dude, tell me about that fight, Theo. Were you tell me about that fight, Tommy? Were you thinking about Theo and him coming off the Dana White Contender Series and all the hype behind him? What was going on through your head going up to that fight?
So the funny thing is we kind of came up on the same circuit. So we both fought for Spartica as amateurs, and both kind of had the same opponent, same weight class, but we never met in the cage. And honestly, every time that I saw him, I was like, please don't let him be my next opponent. Like, it's bound to happen one day, but like he's terrifying. Don't
Yeah,
let him be my
power
next
puncher.
opponent. And so then he moved on to UBG, which ended up being the show that I moved on to. So he went 5-0, and I was slightly behind him in my pro record, and then he went on to the Contender Series. So that being said, I was like, I don't know how we didn't meet. And then it ended up, it was a tough decision loss, and they gave me the option. They were like, look, we can set you up for the 155 title. Here's your options. And I was like, Theo's gonna be a tough choice, so let's whatever, full send it, right? Like, we're
Yeah,
fighting for a title. Let's
take it
make it a
on.
fight. And I'm not gonna say fully. I never will go into a fight going, I'm 100% gonna lose. But up here, I was like, this may be a loss. Like, this 100% maybe one that I go out and get demolished and realize I'm not the fighter that I think that I am. And the whole time I'm like game planning, I'm game planning. Well, like 2 weeks out, I was like, hey, what if like, and because we like to take down as well, and Theo knows that. So we were working fake takedowns with my Muay Thai coach Will, and so we'd fake the takedown and come up for the knee, and we'd work it and work it and work it, and like the day of the fight, I was jumping because my girlfriend's a little, or she girlfriend at the time, no, fiance at the time, because that was right before our wedding,
Yeah.
and she was a little bit shorter than Theo. So I was jumping up and trying to see if I could get my knee to her head, not like kneeing her in the face. I was a distance away,
Oh,
but I was like seeing if I could get that high. And I was like, I don't know if we should do this. I don't know. And I was talking myself out of it. And the bell rung, and it was full send from there. It was like, whatever, we're here, we're fighting, we may lose, do whatever you got to do. So we sent it, and it worked. And it surprised me, I think, as much as him.
yeah. Hey, I mean, I'm telling you right now, that game plan was smart because guys go in there with Theo, and because they are scared of his power and stuff like that, they try to be cautious. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes that kind of helps him a little bit. But in this fight, he was going up against another dude who was going in there with nothing to lose. You know what I mean? With power,
Yeah.
heart, and will. And not just that. But I heard the damn fans saying, Tommy, 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 dude. I love it, man. It seems like you're just a goddamn exciting fighter to watch, man. You're all around good. Your takedowns, your striking, your knees, your elbows, your takedown defense, even your work from the back. Even your work from the back is underrated, man. I mean, dude,
Thank you,
it's
man.
absolutely amazing, bro. Now, let's talk about your fight coming up. You know, you're going to be taking on Ramiro Jimenez. You know, he's from Mexico. He is currently the #2 ranked featherweight out of Florida. He is the former Combat Americas tournament champion. You know, he hasn't fought since 2023, though. He hasn't fought
Right.
since 2023. You know, he fought what 3 times in 2 days where he won $100,000, this and that. What do you
Yeah.
think about your opponent going into this fight, man?
I think he's going to be my toughest opponent today. It could go in, and the fruits of our labor could show. We could be blessed with a quick fight. It would be great. But I think up here, I'm considering him to be the toughest opponent I've had yet. Like you said, he's 10-0. And yeah, he hasn't fought since 2023, but that could mean one of two things. And it's either ring rust or he's a brand new fighter and he's evolved. All this game planning that we've done could mean absolutely nothing. And that's the risk we're willing to take. And knowing Ramiro, it'll be closer to the second option than the first. He's good, man. He's solid. And I think it's going to be an explosive fight. I think we're going to bring fireworks. And either way, I think one of us is getting a contract. I don't see this being boring by any
Yeah.
means.
And then, I mean, both fighters could get contracts depending on how great the fight is. You know what I mean? That's happened sometimes.
That'd be great.
But,
Yeah.
but, all right, man. So, Ramiro, he's a tough fighter, a lot of power. But like I said, he hasn't fought since 2023. When you look at his resume, even in his amateur fights, the dude's never been to decision. He's knocking everybody out. It's been a long time. You, on the other hand, have been to decision quite a few times, in your amateur background, in your amateur fights. I do believe you have the experience going into this fight, man. What do you think you have the advantages in this fight going in?
That's hard to say. It's I think in terms of advantages, I think you're right. I think I've had that decision experience. It's I even on the night that he fought 3 times,
Yes.
there were 2 round fights, and credit to him, 2 of them were first round finishes, and one went to a decision. But again, it was 2 rounds. I think one of the favorite things that I've heard is the first round's technique, right? It's what do you know? What are you doing right? What are you doing wrong? Second round's cardio, right?
Yep.
That's where that kicks in because you just gave it your all for 5 minutes. Now you've got another 5 minutes. Third round's heart. You've just
Yep.
spent everything you've got for 10 minutes. So now we take that heart round and whatever, if we've got anything left in the tank, we've got an advantage.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say every fighter. Some fighters want it to go the distance. They just want to scrap. But a lot of fighters don't want it to go that long, and neither of us do. But at the same time, if it does, I think I've been there. It's not unfamiliar ground for me. But either way, I know that he's training hard. I know that he's got the cardio. I don't think there's a clear advantage either way. It's
Yes.
just I think it's going to come down to who's willing to grind it out more, who's trained harder, who wants it more.
Hell yeah, man. And how's training camp been leading up into this fight?
Dude, it's been good. Today was my last extremely hard day. Next week we're keeping the cardio up, but it's not like super hard contact. It's just training to keep the cardio up, weight down, so we don't get injured before the fight. But dude, camp was it was rough, man. It
Hell
was for
yeah.
sure rough, but it needs to be. It absolutely needs to be. We don't want to come into this fight after a soft camp because you're not ready for a fight then. You're ready for a 5K.
Yep.
It's You need a certain level of roughness both for the body and for the head because if you're not mentally prepared, you're coming into this fight blind. And I think our camp did a great preparing me both physically and mentally. I did a lot of lifting throughout this camp with NC reps. I did a lot more running this camp. I did a lot more just in terms of training and branching out for training. So I think with everything that I did, I have no choice but to be confident in my preparation.
That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. Now, you got the biggest opportunity of your life, Tommy Cuozzi. I'm going for you here on the MMA Boxing Addicts channel. We want you to go in here and get this goddamn contract. It's gonna be a great, great feeling, man. Who are you doing this for?
Uh so many people, man. Like I said, it's not just me, it's all God. My two biggest things are pray and train. He brought me here. If I'm gonna get to the next level, it's his decision. But I'm not, part of it's for me. I've had this dream since I was 10, but I've got so many people supporting me, holding me up, kind of just propping me up. It's for them. It's for my kids' class. It's for the people who got shirts to support me. It's for the people that I see at a gas station on a random Wednesday that are like, "Hey, aren't you Tommy Quasi?" It's so many people that are propping me up and just being a massive base and support pillar for me. I this it's not just for me. We're doing it for everybody. We're bringing Eden, North Carolina up. We're gonna put us on a map, and hopefully things go well, and we keep bringing everybody up. This is for my gym, my family, everybody.
Let's go, man. Let's go. And tell me, man, how hungry are you? You're 2 weeks away. The hunger's kicking in your body. How hungry are you, Tommy Kawazi, to be getting into this ring? An opportunity of a lifetime.
I think mentally, I'm so hungry for this fight. I'm excited for the fight. I'm nervous. I'm very hungry for the win, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to get there. I'm also a fat kid at heart, so I thought you meant at first like how hungry am I because the weight cut's getting to me. So also very hungry there, but
Oh, my bad, bro.
hungry on both ends, man. I'm absolutely pumped to do this. I'm excited to show an evolved fighter in there.
Hey, that is funny, bro. I didn't even realize how hungry are you. Like, oh, you're hungry. Hey, that's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. Tommy Kawazi, one last question before I go. Two last questions before I go. I know you don't like to predict the fight. You don't like to say anything that's gonna happen. But Tommy, what do you see? What do you want to manifest happening Tuesday night, August 19th, my friend?
We all want to win. Whatever method comes, whether it's a quick 3-second knockout, amazing. Whether it's a 15 round all out war, amazing. We want to win. And like you said, I don't like making, excuse me, a little hiccup there. I don't like making predictions. I never want to be like, yeah, I'm gonna knock him out the second round, because you never know. It's a fight. Fights are unpredictable. You
Yep.
can train and train and train, and it all goes well. It all goes according to plan. But when it comes down to it, it's a fight.
Yes,
So
sir.
we want to win. We're going in whatever method we can take. A win's a win, and we're gonna take it.
Let's go, man. Let's go. My last question that I have for you, Tommy Kawazi, when they're saying your name and they're giving you a goddamn contract on the DWCS and you're finally officially a UFC fighter, will you come back on so we could go over? I don't want to bring you on here for too long. I know you got training camp and you're going to start cutting weight soon. Can we go over a little bit more things? Come back on and celebrate your goddamn win, my friend.
Dude, we'll celebrate for sure, man. I'd be honored.
Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. I want to thank you a lot, dude. I'm a blue collar kid from Fresno, California. I hang drywall for a living. Me, my son, and my daughter, we're struggling at times and life is hard over here. But I'm so glad that you give me the opportunity and you give me your time. You're a famous person. And none of you guys need to be doing this, especially on channels where not a lot of people are watching. We're young people trying to get up there. You don't have to do this. But the fact that you're here with me, I just want to let you know that your time is not taken for granted. I'm going after this. I'm going to go tell everybody about this. I'm going to tell my girl about how goddamn of a cool person you are. And I'm telling you right now, before I let you go, Tommy, let me do one last thing. So maybe it helps you out for fucking Tuesday, man. Here we go. Ready? I'm
All
sharing
right.
my energy with you, Tommy. Sharing my energy with you.
Did I
You
caught
got
it
it.
off?
You go. MMA Boxing Addict channel got your back, man. You're not going in there alone.